Hey friends, today we are working on a 2019 Hyundai Elantra, of all things. It's only got about 90,000 miles on it, but apparently it already needs inner tie rods, and that's what we're working on today. So the tools that you're going to need, first off, basically, I use an impact and 13/16, I believe it is, socket for the lug nuts, and the to get the tie rod separated from here, I believe that is a 7/8. And then this nut here is a 15/16. I found that to vary from one year to the other, even in some cases on some cars and models. But hopefully that's not the case here. 7/8 and 7/8 here rather, and 15/16 there. And then of course, regular old pair of needle nose pliers if you need there, or side cutters to cut the boot off over there. Over there, you can see I've been pounding around on that already to try to loosen it. Of course, you need your tie rod tool in there. I actually had a nice kit of tie rod tools that I bought specifically for that type of thing, and I'll show it to you rather. Actually, I'll go over there. And typically what you'd do is you'd take the outer tie rod off, and then you can slide that on, or find any one of these that fit in there to slide on. But this one doesn't even have anything for a wrench, so that's where that clamp tool comes in handy. Just a good old cheap clamp tool off of Amazon. Most of this stuff you can get off Amazon cheap anyway. But yeah, it's just a good old tool like that. Just a U with a clamp over top of it, 2 nuts. This one has a 3/8 ratchet drive. I wish it was a 1/2 inch. That would have made this job a lot easier as well. But I could not get that inner tie rod off. And finally what I ended up doing, I was afraid of breaking stuff. And yeah, I guess the rest of the tools here, you got your 15/16, 7/8. And then this 15 mil happens to be the size for that, but your tool might be different. And just a basic tool set. Like I said, I use the hammer to pound around on the inside of there, like so. And I don't know if it helped any. It probably didn't, honestly. I think it's just Loctite, because even now it spins hard. And this one's loose in there, like it can spin in there. It's just a ball after all. So it's tight now. I mean, theoretically, my tie rod's tight again because I pounded it in with a hammer. But anyway, we're putting a new tie rod in. Got the new tools, new parts over here, and had a little bit of play on them, even at 90,000. But anyway, while you're in here, of course, check all your others. This one seems to be good and tight. Doesn't seem to have any play in it. Already took that clip off. If you're doing your outers, of course, you would need, I think, what's an 8 mil up here, and then probably a 13 down here to break that loose. And then if you're having a hard time getting the old tie rod out, probably just thread this up to the top and pound it with a hammer. I bet you it'll pop right out. And I'm going to try to get the inner off now. I don't have new outers because I don't need new outers, so I'm not going to do that today. But of course I got to take this off of the inner, because the new inner threads in here. And we'll get to that in a second if I can get this one off now. Oh, and I guess actually before I do that, the main kicker that I had was simply I could not get. And this is the reason I wish that tool was 1/2 inch instead of 3/8, because you got to use this big old breaker bar, of course 1/2 inch breaker bar, to get that tool off. What I ended up doing was doing this. Put a jack stand under there. Of course you need a jack and jack stand, but some of this stuff is almost obvious. And ended up just basically popping that on there and then jacking it up. You slide it in. You want it as straight as possible like this. And you slide it in and you start jacking. And this one, here I'll zoom out a bit. This one was already loose, so it's already spinning. But that ended up breaking it loose. Of course, you can only go so high under there until you're bottomed out. But yeah, you can see it's spinning. And now I can do it by hand already. So I grab, once I got it broken loose, I was very confident this piece was going to break. I bought these off of Amazon for like 10 bucks, a whole kit with 5 different adapters in there. I was afraid that was going to break, but it did not. Strangely enough, this old Stanley said here, that thing already broke, which is why I bought that kit, and it just so happened to come in handy today. Now I'll show you how I spin it off. Just a bunch of extensions. You say, yeah, you got your extensions in there, and you just spin it off. Like so. I guess you can't really see it there. I apologize, but it's coming. I'll tell you that much. Slowly but surely. Man, that thing's on there tight. So I'm going to get that off real quick. Hopefully this isn't the end of my video because my phone dies or something. But I'll try to get that inner tie rod out, and I'll try to show you the new one going on as well if I can. I don't think I'm going to put Loctite on the new one. It's just too much of a pain. Maybe I'll do a little bit of blue Loctite. But anyway, hopefully, like I said, I can show you the inner one as well. And if this is the end because my phone dies, well, as always, hope this video helps somebody, and may God bless you. But let's give it a shot. Ooh, man, that's tedious as heck. Holy moly. I got a sore throat as it is. This isn't helping. So yeah, looks like we got it off finally. A little bit of that there, as you can see. So now, see if we can fish it out here. I'm just going to turn the steering back in, actually. Just going to turn the wheel in, free this tie rod so we can spin it out this way. And then I want to mark the threads so we can get the alignment pretty close for the new tie rod to go. Yeah, and worst case scenario, I'll just do a little, a quick manual alignment after we're done. Okay, we got him, managed to get it out. I turned the rack back in. Let's take that stupid broken boot out. And yeah, that's it. That's where it threads into right there. Unfortunately, it's a pain. I had to kind of tap it down there with a hammer to get it past. But now we check the outer tie rod again, just to be sure. And yeah, there's no play in that. It's actually pretty stiff still. So you can see even somehow in here, it got something, I guess, from me pounding on this part here, obviously. So anyway, I'm going to take this tool off now, and then I'm going to try to spray this clean here. I grabbed a little bit of brake clean here. We're going to clean it up, and then I'm going to mark it. Just grab me a can of red primer and see if we can't put a mark on that to hopefully kind of give us an idea of how far it threads back in again, right? Just break this nut loose afterwards, and then thread the oh no, it won't matter, will it? Because the new ones, okay, yeah, sorry, I had it backwards. That's if I'm doing my outer tie rods. I'm just wasting your time here now. But yeah, I've done that before where I just marked them and screwed the new outer tie rod onto here. But yeah, we're just gonna have to do a wheel alignment after we're done with this. So I'm gonna get the old one off. We'll pop the new one on. Okay, sorry about that. Kind of embarrassing, actually. A good way to do it is pop them on in a way that when you squeeze it, you can squeeze them together and break this loose. That way you're not putting unnecessary pressure on that there. But yeah, another way that we might be able to do it is count how many threads it goes in. And that should give us an idea of how far to go in with the new tie rod. So let's see if I can do this here. So we got the old one out. And I'm going to go ahead and spray this anyway just to make it easier to count later if necessary. And then we're going to try to get the other one close. We put the new one on. You got to remember to put all your new hardware on too, though. Your boots, your clamps, all that stuff. You're actually supposed to lube this end of the tie rod as well before you put the boot on. Put some grease in there. Yeah, let's see if I can get that done. So here's the new one, and they appear to be the exact same setup, of course. And it looks to be about 7 threads from the bottom there. So I'll just spin it on that far. Turns out that new nut is thicker than the old one, so I'll just line them up where the old one is where it should be. I'll line the new one up about that same distance, and then we can fine-tune it later. So, got it close. I'm gonna go ahead and get my boots and hardware and everything on there. It came with new clamps, but I'm probably just gonna use, I know a lot of guys use zip ties. Some people might not like them, and if you've got a good reason, feel free to share in the comments. I'm still learning too. I just spent a bunch of time looking for a how-to video on how to break these stupid things loose, and finally I figured it out on my own, and I figured I'd share a video for the next guy. So I'll probably just use zip ties for that. We can do that in the end, for that end and that end. Actually, I'll probably just reuse that clamp for the inside, and I might even have another one of those for the outside as well. But let's see what we can find here. Put it all on, lube it up, put it back together. Also, something else I just learned, you got to take that nut off to put the boot on. So I'll slide the boot on and line it back up again afterwards, estimate. So we got that. It also comes with grease, and it tells you where to put it, which of course is naturally right here. So I'll go ahead and stick all that grease on. I've got a bunch over there, but I'll just use this packet. So did that. And time to screw it back in over there. After we actually, I'll actually just pop the outer tie rod off. I'll put this one in, that in first, and then I'll just pop that one off and screw it on. So turn the steering back out this way. Did it by hand as far as I could, which wasn't very far. And now we'll use our little tie rod tool again. So we got our tool on now. Good old ratchet. Let's tighten it up in there. It's kind of tough, which is part of the reason I don't think we need freaking Loctite in there. There we go. Snugged it up. Don't mind my voice. I've been sick for a couple days. Real sore throat, but snugged it up with the breaker bar. Nothing crazy. Don't want to damage the rack, but yeah, it should be good to go. Hopefully I'm not missing anything this time. Made enough of a fool of myself this video so far. I think we're good. Take the outer one off, spin it on there, and line it up. I think I got that nut right about where it's supposed to be. Check the wheel alignment after we're done, and then yeah, should be good. Let's see if I can finish this up here. But I'll go ahead and I'll turn the wheel all the way this way again to the left, just to bring the boot in to the rack there, so I can snug that up on there and hopefully put a clamp on that, tighten that up, and then I'll bring it out as far as, again, you know, I'll steer it the other way again, and then get it back to that point. Sorry, I gotta zoom out here, and then put the clamp on there, and then once we got the inner all done, then we'll spin the outer on. There, got a zip tie on there, tightened it up real good with my needle nose pliers, and my phone's about to die. So this is pretty simple. Like I said, you just break that loose, hold on to it with the top, and break it loose on the bottom. If you need to pound it out, I'll thread this one up, pound it with a hammer, and of course if you got to reuse it, then be careful with it, obviously, but shouldn't be much to it. I'm sure it'll come out nice and easy. And yeah, then I'll screw it back onto there, do my wheel alignment, and yeah, do the other side. But I'm hoping I don't run into any issues, because then the next person's going to have the same issues I do, and they're going to be like, this idiot didn't cover everything in this video. But hey, send me a comment. If there's something I didn't cover in this video, or you want to tell me I'm an idiot, or you want to educate me on something, by all means, friends, send me a comment. I always appreciate them, and I'm always learning. But anyway, now I'm going to end this video off. Again, hope this video helps somebody. I know I couldn't find anything online, so hopefully this kind of fills the gaps. And as always, may God bless you.